Welcome back to Satisfactory Update 6. My name is Nilaus and I will be your guide on this walkthrough of the game. Now, before we get started, first of all, thank you very much everyone for following, liking and your overwhelming support on the first episode. It's super amazing and I really appreciate it. It's so nice to see that a lot of you have been sort of aching for me to come back to Satisfactory, and here I am. So let's keep this going. With any of these kind of series, then my question to myself is always, how am I going to strike the balance between showing everything and then maybe a bit slow progress, or not showing enough and then people will feel that I'm skipping over things and they can't play along. So I'm going to try to strike a balance. That means every episode will have a specific thing that we want to do. Maybe those things will not always be the most spectacular clickbaity things, but I hope that you will be following along anyway. Some things will be super amazing, awesome, but other things will be an absolute necessity in order to get to the next level for the base. So feel free to come along. If you want to get more detail, come on over to Twitch, where I'm streaming this Tuesday, Thursdays and Sundays at 8 p.m. Central European time. So objective for today is take our little starter hub and make it, first of all, make it nicer, because oh my god, that's crap. This as soon as you look behind the camera, it looks awful. But this part looks nice. I want to expand it to also include rotors and reinforced iron plates, because we do have an extra iron mine out here. We have two iron mines. One we drag in to the first part, and the other one we don't really do anything with. We just have it as a static thing. So I'm going to need to bring all of this crap here up on a platform so that it's aligned with the rest. Get some good biomass burners going, and then we can start working on our future designs. I also think it's a good time to get some design work going. So what I really want to do is, I think I need a bit more here. And let's go in and also do a research sync, because then I can do the color cartridge and we can do some beautification of the world. Here we go. Launching.
Milestone reached.
And we don't need to listen to her. So let's go up to that tower and have a look around. Oh man, I love the rain. It's so beautiful. It's so nice. It doesn't do anything except eat your frames, but it's just really nice. All right, let's clean this up and give it a nice funky color. And here we are back in the base, and we have our landing ship, whatever. It's landing, and this is the new color of the base. I think it's really nice. This light blue and then some dark red for some bit of accent on it. It looks great. We can definitely get used to this, and I'll try some different colors during this episode, and then we can have a look at it in or we'll be basically be deciding on the colors during the next live stream. So or maybe we'll change them from time to time. Who knows? I think having one color scheme will probably end up being boring no matter what we choose. So we still have our stone bricks or limestone coming in from here, and what I've also been building is a dedicated location. Let's go back to the normal GUI here, where we take our leaves, our wood and our mycelia, at least some of it, make it into biomass and make it into solid biomass, consolidating it into a location here, and that will be just available. What we also have over here is that this is 540 megawatt of power. I have no intention of getting to 540 megawatt of power and supporting this, but the more you have of these, the more you can just fill up once into all of these biofuels, and then it takes a lot longer before it runs out. And I think that's the main advantage. I think this is also why a lot of people find it frustrating to work with burner miners, because they only have like the minimum they need, and that means they runs out every 25 minutes or something, and that's super annoying. Or I think it's maybe 40 minutes if you burn it at max rate. So if you burn it at 20% rate, then it lasts 4 times as long, which is really nice. What we need to do is we need to go all the way down here and then start looking at what the objective for today is. That is reinforced iron plates and rotors. We're obviously going to need a bit of space to get that done. So let me just get some space out here. So now we have the space to work with, and we need to start working on the design. So this is where, and I think this is the main learning from this episode, will be the importance of alternate recipes in the early game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start making an assembler, and then we're going to take a look at the reinforced iron plates. So if I do this, then it takes 30 plates, and 30 plates. No, actually I want to see it per plate, right? So it's 6 plates, and that means that is 9 ingots, and this is 12, that is 3 more ingots, so it is 9%. That means it's 12 ingots, 12 iron ore, and in order for getting one reinforced plate. So 12 to 1, not a great recipe. Also over here, we are going to want to make some rotors, and the only rotor recipe we have is here, that's 20, and this one is 25. 25 screws is 6.25. So this is 5 plus 6.25. That means it's 11.25 for one rotor. Again, very expensive. And we sort of, if we consolidate it, like that's 12 here, and that's 11.25. That's kind of 12, right? That means I could probably make 6 of these per minute and 6 of these per minute if I use a full belt of 120 iron ore coming in. That's not very good. So what we need to do is we need to go out into the wild, find some, you can see up here, there is already, that is a drop site. So we need to find those drop sites and we need to get them. And if we look at our map, I am going to, there are a number of places you can go. If you go to this area, the Dune Desert, then you are going to need a lot of motors, and you probably can't, well, since you can't make motors, it's not great to go there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loop all the way over here to the rocky desert thing, and loop back. That's going to be using like 30 something rotors and a few motors that we can pick up along the way. So it's really important for us to go out. And in order for us to sort of highlight what it is we're looking for, we are looking for a stitched iron plate. Let me actually see if I can display it on screen as I'm talking about. We need stitched iron plate because that is a much more efficient way of making reinforced iron plates. We need, because this stitched iron plates require wire, then we also need the iron wire, because then we can do the whole thing with the iron. Then I want the copper rotor, because the copper rotor is then using some copper sheets that we have in abundance, and then we can sort of cut down on our iron need, and we can just leach some copper from the copper sheet factory over here. And that also needs some screws, and then we need the casted screws, so we can kind of skip a level on the casted screws. And those 4 are the essential ones for me to get these ones to be much more effective than they are right now. Like, remember, this will only be able to make us about 6 of each per minute with that, and we want to be able to build more than that. So what I need to do as well first is I actually need to make sure that we have a setup where we use this part here, this that we prepared in advance. This is sort of our overflow, and if I go out, then it's probably going to take like 2 hours of going out and farming. So we want to make sure that while I'm out there, these will definitely, probably, most likely run full. And as they run full, I want to take any excess. This is not an excess, it'll basically be half. Then basically take half of it and throw it into a box where we can then use it for later. And that would be super nice. So basically, here is a important part of it. If you take here and go over to a merger, if this splitter is in the middle, then you go 2 over to one side and 2 over to the other side, and then you basically get right in the middle intersection here. And if you do that, take this out and listen to that little pling. That's the one we're looking for, because now it connects directly from here and up there. And then I can do that for the rest. I can bring it over. I'll just figure out a way to do that so we can do that before we head on out. And so this is our solution. We have now built this part here. It's building a few coupons, and we have a line going above. I am just making this a Mark 1 line at this point, so we're ready to go out. Also built here. And if you are concerned that this is just one big boring platform, well, once we get some tickets, we can start doing something and making it look a bit nicer here and there. And our idea for the overall factory is to make some kind of consolidated hive city, so everything will be connected. I won't be having disjoint buildings anywhere. I'll have some buildings here and there. So we are going to head on out and see if we can find some shots for us, and then we come back after that. We are now back from our excursion out into the wild, and let's just have a look at where I've been. I marked the crash sites I found but have not been able to open. This one requires rubber, this one requires heavy modular frames. I marked those with a little crate, and I would recommend it using that feature. And then I marked all the ones I've taken with a little exploding icon, because we've opened those as well. And you can see I went all the way out here and then headed back again. And I managed to get all of the recipes I liked, and I was just planning this so that we can start up as dawn comes in. You can also see that the factory has changed color. So now we have a vibrant green and a purple highlight. So that's another option. We'll try this one on for size and then see how we like this. And okay, so that we need to do some design. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make some design for a rotor build. But now we have a new rotor build. We used to only have this one, which was iron rods and screws, which is kind of uncomfortable and annoying. Now we can do the copper sheets and screws. And then if we just scale it down to about 50%, then it takes about 200 screws per minute, 100 screws per minute, which is what we can then aim for. So this will be the first build, and then over here we have the copper sheets taken from here. We just need about 3 copper sheets per minute, so that's not much. So we just leech them off from that build as well. And then we can go on with the design at this point here, just continuing this line. And I'll be making 2 of these because now we have a new screw recipe. This one is faster. It makes 50 per minute instead of the other one. It makes 40 per minute, but the other one also has an extra step. So this is, for all intents and purposes, just better. And since this is 50 and this is another 50, that gets pretty close to the 200 we need at this point. So that will be the first input, and then we'll build other stuff out here. But those 2, I will then consolidate it into a merger. And that merger will then be aiming straight in here. And that means we need to build it. Now, we need to align this in 2 different ways. I need to align this output with this input. So I need to scoot it over this side. But then the question is, where is it going to be input output wise in this location? And then I have a rule for it, and that is you take the middle of the build right here, and then 1 off. 1 tick off to the side. Why, oh why would that be the reason? I will show you. Thank you for that question. I will now show you why. And I will need to build it here. You can see that blue line, green line, whatever. That line is aligning over here. And then I try to drag it as much as possible. We want to get it to align with the inputs. And I just can't make it align with the inputs. 1, 2, 3, 4. That should be aligning with the input. This will be a Mark II because can transport about 100. So it goes in. That is perfect. And then I will bring this copper sheet over here. And I'll always do these kind of things in the same way. So here, 1. Why am I doing mergers? I should be doing splitters. That just seems more reasonable. It still haven't fixed that rotation thing. And then here comes the magic part. Click and click. Perfect alignment. That is why you build it 1 tile off, 1 tick off the center. And we have this, and we can now bring in here, perfectly aligned, 90-degree turns without any fuss about it. I like that. And these can also be connected. Let's see here. So that's the first part. That will get us the rotors. Well, once the whole thing is set up, and we are going to get at this location. Now, there. Is that correct? Nope, it's not correct. It's aligning to the wrong thing. There we go. That's input to input aligned. And I am also going to get a splitter here. Because even though it may not seem the most prudent thing right now to be exporting this back to our awesome sync, then I will eventually need to do this part and then align with a line going right here on this intersection, going back to the awesome sync so we can vent it back into the awesome sync. But that's not really the most important right now. Let's move on to the next build. The next build is the reinforced iron plates. That's also going to be changed. Now we have the stitched iron plate that requires iron plates and about 20. 20 is what one constructor can make. So this is pretty perfect towards one constructor, and 20 iron wire or 37.5. then I'm going to use the iron wire to build that. So let's look at a good way of doing this. 1, 2, and 3. I'll make this one into the iron plate. I will even scale it down to do 18.75 so it doesn't overdo anything. Then I will take this one to the alternate iron wire. That's only producing at 22.5, so I scale it down to 83.3. Because if I do that, and there are 2 of them, then they will be generating a total of 18.75 times 2, that's 37.5, which is exactly what I need here. So let's make sure that they are correct. So again, I will need to do the alignment. And this alignment will now be towards here. This will be the second input. Come on, why are you not getting it? You're right there. Oh, I think I know why. Damn. Some idiot turned them the wrong way. Well, that was useless. All that for nothing. There and here. Set them up again. 19. Well, you get... Oops, that's not correct. 18.75. Let's get it right. This one. Iron wire. 83.333. There we go. And copy. And paste. Okay. Now I can get... Oh, yes. And then I bring it closer until it intersects with the middle here. So now they're on the same line and they are directly in. You go directly in. And I will make a merger, which will be building here. That gets my iron wire, and this gets my iron wire in. The iron wire will then be going from here, and you can see that it perfectly 90-degree turn. Everything is fitting just absolutely perfect. But that's not it, because I can actually just make one more. So I'm going to just make a mirrored image of this. So this will be the iron. This. Oh no, I did it again. Somehow they like to rotate when you pick them up here. Okay, that's iron plates and wire and another one with wire. I wonder if I can just still paste it and still paste it. Yep, I can. And you will be doing here 18.75. Great. And again, I now need to take you out. And you need to go stitch plates. I'm trying to do it in a reasonable pace, because sometimes this can get really just long-winded if you spend too much time just hooking up belts. But on the other hand, I think that I've been putting a lot of effort into making sure that we do these kind of designs and they actually work crisply there. So I think it's also worth showing that how nice it actually looks when you're done. And from here. Okay, these need to consolidate, and they need to consolidate. Actually, I think I'll do it in a different way. Oh, by the way, I know that you can place these here, but when I do that, I'm not always sure that it aligns correctly, and I've just had so many issues with it that it's once burned, twice shy. I think that's the reasoning here. That I've just been burned by this so many times that at this point, yeah, not really. Okay, so I'm going to do a merger at... Why is it not highlighting that it's connected? There, okay. Reinforced iron plates, or technically stitch plates, inbound, and this will be the branch off we need in order for the awesome sink later on, if we want to get there. That's good, and because this can then go that way and that way, and it'll still hit the same line. Perfect. So this is working, and all of the belts are inbound. All we need now is to get the stuff in, and we're gonna get some smelters, and I'm gonna make a smelter over here just to make sure that it is aligned. And that's the middle. Right, so this iron wire will be, or iron smelter will be feeding these two. And that's 12.5 plus 12.5, so you are going to be outputting or burning at 25, if at all possible. Then the next one will go into the two iron wire parts. So how much is that going to be? 12.5 times 0.833333 there, times 2 there, that's 20.1. Okay, so this one has to be 21. Then it should be enough for both of them. There, that's 21. And the next is going to be feeding into here. That's going to be slightly less, so I guess the answer to that is going to be like 28. And I'm going to build it over here. That will also be 28. And we'll build the last one, which will take care of the two other iron wires here. That will be 21. And then the big question is 21 plus 28. That's 49 times 2. So that's 90. That is, what was that? That's 98 and then another 25. So it's 123 and the belt comes in with 120. So for me, that's close enough. I mean, you can make some adjustments, but it's just going to be the way it is. I'll do a split here, and I'll do a split here, and I'll do another split at this point. And then that's not going to be hooked up until we have all of the rest of the stuff coming in, and I can use Mark 1 belts for all of this. Two back, and yeah, that goes in. That goes in, and the other here. 1, 2. Should be good. And I need some splitters as well. In. That's the 25 that gets split into 12.5 each. That's good. Then the no. Yes. And this is going for the iron wire. I'm just trying. I have to say it out loud, otherwise I lose my chain of thought on this. And I know it can be super hectic with the first person build. We are not going to do everything, but I just want to build this part so that we can see how it's connected. And if you want to build it, then you can do it. Also, for the first episode, there were some really nice diagrams created by, that's not correct, created by Jay Besterman. That's very, very nice. And maybe there'll be more, so do check out the comment section to see if there are some engineering drawings. It's one of the things that I just really appreciate about the community here. Like, what other community just decides that, yeah, let's make some engineering drawings to go with the builds here. That is because we're so focused on awesome designs. Cool, so I need to hook this up to power, and once it's hooked up to power, we are ready to get started. I will just make a little tower out here so we can enjoy the view. And yeah, so let me hook it up to power and then let's go. And so we've now built it and we've hooked up all the power, and only thing left to do is just to hook it up and see if it works. So let's do that. And by the way, maybe you didn't notice, we changed the color again. So a very dark orange and then a light blue highlight. I also like this color. Let me know with the comment sections what color scheme you prefer. And then if you want to be part of sort of the yelling about it, then we'll probably decide it on Twitch chat, because that's the best place to be yelling at each other to get your voices heard. And then we can make some poll or designs or whatever, or make whatever we want to have someone decide on the color scheme for either for different factories or for the whole factory as a whole. I don't know. We'll have a look. So we're going to go up here and we can see that the black plumes of progress are coming in. And how many? We are actually using all the 4 recipes. We're using the bolted screws, we're using the copper rotors, we're using the iron wire, and we're using the stitch plates. So those 4 are absolutely essential in order for me to make this. And it gives me a much higher yield and a faster production rate with the same amount of resources as before. So that is I think that's super nice. Also, it's a much simpler, like bolted steel doesn't give you more resources, but it just eliminates a build. So at this point, well, maybe you are thinking, just a flat platform. We'll make it. We'll do something about it. I will have, like, my plan is either having a road or maybe a train or something on the outside here. Definitely a road first, and that will lead us into something else, and then up here maybe will be the next, because we want to get up and still connected. So there's sort of half overlap, maybe sort of into the cliff or something like that. We'll see what we have of options. Let's see how things are progressing. We can see the first iron wire coming in and the first iron plates coming in. They are just merging in. So far it looks like every belt is moving. I'm not really seeing this one, but the fact that that's here. And yeah, I think it looks like things are moving. Also here we have screws coming out from both machines and coming in. And then we'll just go over and see if we get the first bits here. Are they working? You're working. You're just missing a few. You're also just missing a few. 18. Oh yeah, they make 9 at a time, so it's gonna wait until the next batch comes in. Here we go. We are now making the first reinforced iron plates. What are we doing over on this side? How's that coming along? Okay, it's still also just coming in. So that is basically what I wanted to show for this episode. If you want to, you can drag these back. They are perfectly aligned, and then drag it back and get some more points for your from your awesome sync, and use those tickets for buying new and improved materials. But that's not what I want to do right now. Well, it's probably what I want to do in the next couple of episodes, so we'll be using those. And then from here on, it's maybe looking at modular frames, perhaps, or maybe looking at core power or steel. It's certainly a matter of time for us to build the space elevator, so we can unlock that space elevator part, because now we have everything we could possibly want to build. Well, at this tech level at least. And yeah, so if you want to join then on the next steps, that's going to be over on twitch.tv/Nilaus. You can see it on the right hand side. And it's Tuesday, Thursdays, and Sundays at 8 p.m. Central European Time. And also here on YouTube, the next episode will be on Friday. To summarize what we've done and just to build the next cool, awesome thing that we'll see what it is. Be sure to leave a comment on colors you like and things you'd like to see more of, whether you like this kind of format, you know, the usual things. And of course, if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. And of course, if you've watched all the way to this part, you assume that you liked it. Otherwise, I mean, thank you for watching. Either way, consider hitting the like button. It helps me with discovery, and that's really important as a YouTuber to get your videos discovered out on the greater interwebs. And of course, if you want to go the extra mile, then I do have a Patreon that is also possible for you to pledge on Patreon, and I really appreciate it, because that's how I get this this channel to sort of function as from a monetary perspective. So thank you very much for watching. Until next time, take care, and as always, stay effective.